Hey guys, what's up? It's Joel. Thanks so much for watching this video. You know, the last video I released was a tour of our brand new Grand Design Solitude 3740BH. It's a 2019 fifth wheel with the bunkhouse, and we absolutely love it. But that video generated a lot of questions from you guys, my great viewers and subscribers, and most of those questions had to do with the truck we pull that rig with. So as we're preparing to get ready and head out west here from Cincinnati, Ohio, we're going all the way out west. We're going down to Arkansas, to Texas, to Colorado, to Utah, New Mexico, Arizona, and California, not necessarily in that order, but we're gonna go out and touch the other ocean, have some fun along the way. So while we're prepping to do that, because we're getting ready to go, I thought I would make a short video to show you our truck and all the things that we've added to our truck to make it the ultimate towing machine, because I'm really proud of this truck, all the ideas and the trial and error that has gone into it, and all of those things put together really make it what I think is the perfect truck for us. But know that our perfect truck does not mean it's your perfect truck. We own a Ford F350. This is an FX4 off-road edition with the Lariat package. And know that I'm not really a brand guy. I'm not a Chevy guy. I'm not a Ford guy. I'm not a Dodge guy. I am a truck that works for me guy. So I've driven Chevys and Fords, never owned a Dodge, but this truck is the one that works best for us. So it's the truck that we ended up with. Just want to say that up front. I know there's going to be comments about Dodges are better, Chevys are better. That's fine if you think that, great for you, but this is the best truck for us. So here are the details on the truck itself. This is a 2015 Ford F350. That's a one-ton truck. Like I said, it's the FX4 off-road edition with the Lariat package, which means it's got a few extras inside that kind of make it more comfortable. But the biggest factor to us purchasing this truck was not what was inside, but rather what was under the hood, and that is the 6.7-liter Power Stroke diesel engine. Let me tell you guys, if you're pulling anything more than 10,000 pounds, it'd be my recommendation to strongly consider the diesel. We had a gasser, 3/4 ton Chevy, all the way up to this last rig. We pulled our last rig, it was about 10,000 pounds with the gasser once. Then we decided it was time for the power and ease of towing that came with the diesel. And I can tell you after almost 6 months of full timing with this diesel that it's well worth the change. It's well worth the upgrade. It's well worth all the maintenance and extra cost that you're gonna pay for a diesel because of the power and the control you have. Not only the power to go up hills, but the control to come down them safely. So I'd highly recommend checking out a diesel, whether it's a Ford Power Stroke or a Cummins diesel or even a Duramax. Check out the diesel power if you're gonna start towing something more than 10,000 pounds. Now that we got that out of the way, let me show you all the little things that we have added to this truck to make it ours and to make it a towing machine. Before we get to the fun stuff in the back, I want to start out with something that most people would never notice and most people might not care about, but something that I love and I geek out a little bit on: the suspension of this truck. So not only is it a one-ton truck, which means it has a very hefty suspension just made for towing with brake controls integrated into the dash and all that great stuff, but we have added an airlift system to this. That means that we have airbags that help our shocks and help our suspension system to not only ride smoother, but to be level at all times. Let me show you. That airbag right there, snugly placed in there, it's controlled by an air compressor wired directly to the battery of the truck. And I can control that air compressor with this wireless remote control. That means I get to get away from the truck, back up, look at how level she sets, and with the push of a button, I can raise and lower the whole entire rig to make sure we're level and safe and we're gonna run smooth all the way down the road, no matter what's behind me. Now, for the most part, I know exactly where this needs to be set, so I don't need to eyeball it every single time. But if we were to remove or add significant weight, you'd want to check it again and just always make sure you're running as level as you possibly can, and the airlift system helps us do that. Definitely a worthy upgrade. All right, now one of the things we noticed very quickly about our beloved F350 is that it has an extremely small gas tank. I mean, for a towing machine that gets oftentimes single digits, we get anywhere between 8.5 to 10 or even 11 miles to the gallon when we're towing. It has a 26-gallon fuel tank, which means we only get about 250 miles in total, meaning we're stopping for gas every 200 miles. Just doesn't work for us with the big, huge rig that we have. We needed more capacity. So I did a lot of research and ended up buying this TransferFlo 50-gallon auxiliary gas tank. This thing is great, and there's a lot of different kinds of transfer tanks that you can buy. I went with TransferFlo because it's an American-made product and they have a great reputation. So time will tell. I just put this in, haven't fully experienced the true worth of this, but I think we will as we head out west. So the way this works is this tank is not wired into my gas system, even though you can buy some that are controlled with the push of a button and wired in. I went for the auxiliary tank that simply sits in the bed. We bolted it down, and it has a 12-volt transfer pump here. This transfer pump, actually with the push of a button, we wired in all the electricals back here. You push a button in here, flip a switch, and you pull this nozzle out right here, and you pump as though you were your own gas station. I can pump 50 gallons from here, 25 gallons at a time into my truck, and that means no matter where we are, whether we're in a rest stop or on the side of the road, or we just need to pull over in a Walmart parking lot, I can refuel my system and go, get this, 750 miles before I ever need to stop at a gas station. And that means a lot when, on average, truck stop gas prices are 10 to 20 cents more expensive than regular gas stations for diesel. I can stop when I'm not hooked up. I can fill up the 50-gallon tank, and I've got 75 gallons of diesel to go wherever I want without having to worry about where the next station is or what I'm doing. I even have a 10 or 12 foot hose here, goes all the way to the back of my 6.5 foot bed and back up, that I can use to refuel a buddy. I could fill a different vehicle if I wanted to with diesel. Whatever it is, this TransferFlo tank allows me to do that. So I consider this a major upgrade, and if you're gonna do long-term traveling, something that keeps you safe and gives you assurance. It's not a cheap thing to add in, but with a little know-how, you can put it in the back of your truck yourself. You don't need to pay a mechanic several $100s to do this for you if you've got the garage tools and the know-how. I had someone with a lot of knowledge and a large garage full of tools help me with this, called my dad, and he pretty much did the whole thing by himself and just let me watch. But it totally makes a difference, gives you all this assurance, and it's not that hard to add if you're kind of mechanical. Now, let's talk about the connection point, the fifth wheel hitch that we have in this truck that connects us to the rig. It's very important. And because we have a short bed truck here, this is a 6.5 foot short bed crew cab truck, we needed what is called a slider hitch. Now, there are slider hitches that you actually have to get out and pull a lever on. I didn't want that. We got an auto slide, meaning that as the truck turns, this hitch also goes back in the bed so that the corner of our fifth wheel doesn't bang into the cab of the truck. That'd be a bad, bad, bad day. So I ended up buying a Pull-Right Super Glide. It's another American-made product. It's a 20,000 pound hitch, and even though our rig only weighs 16,000 pounds, I figure, hey, you need to get something a little bit bigger just in case your rig gets a little bit bigger, because you never know. This 20,000 pound hitch is going to do us in this rig, and it's going to handle anything else we could throw at it. So it's been great so far. The review I have after several months of use is that it's awesome. We love it, and I have no problems to speak of. But that's the hitch we use. And then rounding things out, last but not least, one of the greatest pieces of towing add-on that we've put on this truck is the Stromberg fifth wheel tailgate. Now, I was hesitant to do this at first. I wanted to hold on to my stock tailgate as long as I could for two reasons. Number one, because the Fords all have these great steps in them integrated into the tailgate, and we have an awesome backup camera, which doesn't mean a lot when you're hooking up a fifth wheel or even driving a fifth wheel, but when you're disconnected, which we are 75% of the time, and you're trying to get into a small parking spot, that camera is extremely valuable. So we held onto our stock tailgate as long as we could, and that lasted for one trip. Here's why. We did a bad thing, and we tried to unhook at 11 o'clock at night in pitch dark. Tailgate came down, we unhooked, tailgate went back up, went to drive away. I'll let you do the math. It was a bad situation, and I think I handled it well. And the way we fixed it was by installing the Stromberg fifth wheel hitch that will never need to be raised or lowered. It can come up and down, but it will never need to be, because that slot allows our hitch to go right in there, nice and smooth, and never needs to be adjusted. And here's the best part, guys. Are you ready for this? I was able to keep my backup camera. Thanks to a sharp idea and suggestion, we were able to drill into the hard nylon polymer, also known as plastic, that this tailgate is made out of, make a hole just big enough to pull the old logo of the Ford truck out with the camera inside, reroute the wiring, and keep, yes, I said keep, our backup camera. So Jenna is very happy because now when she drives this truck around, she has her backup camera to get into parking spots. I'm happy because it still looks like a custom Ford tailgate, and it's a great win-win. And so for me, these four things, the airlift suspension, the auxiliary gas tank, the auto slide hitch, and the fifth wheel tailgate, they are what make pulling so much better and so much easier. But there are also the little things that matter, things that you might not notice until they're gone, but things that really make pulling a big rig down the road a lot easier. And so the last thing I want to mention is our mud flaps. Now, you may think, mud flaps, big deal. Who cares? Well, you care when there's mud all over the front of your rig that you have to clean off every time you stop. So thankfully, there were great mud flaps already installed on our truck, and even though we had a mishap, we actually reordered the mud flaps to replace what was on there. We went with the Razorback mud flaps, and as you can see here, they are extremely durable, got a nice chrome accent on the back. They are thick, hard rubber. They're gonna stop almost anything you throw at them. They're not gonna fall apart. I'm really, really happy with the Razorback mud flaps, and so I would suggest whatever you do, get a great mud flap, put it on your truck, protect your rig from all the junk that's gonna fly up off of the road, rocks, debris, just nasty road junk. You don't want it. Protect the rig that you have and be proud of it. And that's really it, guys. Those small additions help us to have a truck that we're not only proud of, but one that works extremely well for towing our big rig down the road. I would encourage you not to copy someone else's truck or rig, but find one that works for you, one that you can be proud of, and add the little things that make it completely and totally yours. Things that work for the way you travel and the way you tow. The way that we've set our truck up is not going to work for everybody, but it works great for us. And I want you to remember that when you're building your rigs. Don't be ashamed of what you have. Make it the best it can possibly be and make it work for you. So I just want to say thanks for watching this video. I'm going to try to put links in the description of all the things that I've mentioned in here as much as I can, so you can go check them out for yourself. And as always, thank you so much for watching and subscribing to the channel. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing to this channel. It's going to be more than just showing you trucks and RVs. We're going to be showing you our travel adventures. I've got some videos in the can ready to come out about our travel adventures in the Northeast. And like I said, we're heading west, so soon you're going to get to see mountains and the West Coast and all the great things that come with that. So be sure to subscribe and stay tuned. Share this video with anyone it might help. We always appreciate you watching. Again, my name is Joel. Thank you so much for being with us, and we'll see you in the next video.